Good morning, everyone. It is rightly said, education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. C. Everett Koop once said, life affords no greater responsibility, no greater privilege than the raising of the next generation. This is the big responsibility bestowed on both parents and teachers. That is the reason why we are connecting with you to talk, discuss about their grooming and education. I, Sonali Prakash, would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you for today's session on reimagining school education. This pandemic has shown us the unexpected and has changed the once called normal systems we followed in our day to day life. Businesses shut, offices and schools closed, movement restricted. Amongst all these, one thing did not stop, and that is education. Under the mentorship of Ms. Manjurana, Director Schools, today we have come together on this virtual platform to discuss the changes, or better termed as evolution in the education system, the mode of education, do's and don'ts, and how to handle children, preparation for welcoming the students back in school, to name a few. It has been a tough time for all of us. It has been a very, very tough time. But together we have sailed through it and will continue the same. Now it is time for us to reimagine the new education system. It is to give an answer to all your questions and solve all your queries. As a panelist, we have with us our very experienced Mrs. Indu Kohli, Head Mistress, St. Anandram Jaipuria School, Vasundhara. Indu ma'am exemplifies the ideal of a rare mentor who lives and breathes to improve the life of her students and colleagues. She has been a part of St. Anandram Jaipuria School right from its inception and has contributed immensely for the growth and development of the school. Along with her, it is a pleasure to introduce Mrs. Kabila Rawat, Pre-Primary Coordinator at St. Anandram Jaipuria School, Vasundhara, who has been with our institution for over 16 years. Mrs. Rawat has been a standing pillar of our school. Her love and fondness for the children has been the driving force for creating a strong foundation for the children here at Jaipuria. I would also like to introduce the school counselor, Ms. Varda Juta, who has more than 11 years of experience in the field of mental health and has worked with different age groups and at various schools, colleges, and universities. She has published a research paper in an international journal on the topic of optimism and resilience. Welcome, Varda ma'am. Varda ma'am, before talking about the new age education system, I would request you to brief us a little about the early childhood developments which we should all be aware of in nurturing the new generation.
Sure, it will be definitely a pleasure. And once again, good morning, everybody. And thank you so much, Sonali ma'am, for such humbling introduction. And to begin with, I would like to narrate a small incident. So, Dr. Richard Wiesbaum is a very well-known psychologist and was a professor at Harvard School of Education for really long time. And once he was addressing the community of parents, and in that address, he was discussing the overpressure on the students and how it is important for a student to be a good person, to be a good human being first, and then all the other aspects of life can enter. 15 minutes in his webinar, and he was interrupted by a parent, and the parent said that I agree with all these things that you're saying. It is really important for a person to be a good human being. But will that help the person get into the Harvard? This brings us to the age-old tug of war, I must say, that is academics more important than any other aspects of schooling? Or will academics offer better life prospects? For that, let me give you a small research. about 65% of the children who are entering the school today will be working on certain jobs that do not even exist right now. So just imagine that we are preparing them for something which we do not even know, which none of us are aware of. And for that, we need to inculcate certain things in them. We need to cultivate critical thinking, creativity, initiative, adaptability, along with empathy and resilience, which is again a very important matter. To put all that together, the holistic development of the children matters the most. The holistic development and holistic education work hand in hand. And as they work hand in hand, because both of them share similar aspects such as physical, cognitive, psychological, and social aspects of learning and understanding. Thus, all these aspects together prepare our children for the highest aspect, that is spiritual aspect of development, which includes their self-awareness. You know, what are they and what is the purpose of their life? So these are certain things which are pretty important. Before we move on, I would like to ask a question here. Okay, we want this session to be interactive. We want your engagement as well in this one. So, what are some physical signs of the growth of a child? You may please type your answers in the chat box. Okay. I can't see the chat box. Vijay sir, is chat box enabled?
Q&A is enabled, ma'am. Q&A.
Q&A. Okay, all right. Okay. Yes, please. My question to you is, what are certain signs of physical growth in the children? You can type your answers in Q&A. All right. Okay. Okay, I am getting different answers here. That is height, weight. Okay, very good. Yes. Then we have physical activities. Okay, clothes get shorter. All right. Okay, great. I am getting some great responses out here. Yes, so these are definitely certain things which are part of the physical aspects of development. But along with that, there are some more which are pretty important. And we will be discussing them in brief here. So first of all is gross and fine motor skills. So fine motor skills are the small movements which are required, which are necessary for usage of our hands. You know, if I want to hold something, let us say I have this stapler here, and if I want to hold it, there is a particular way of holding it, and it requires a movement of very tiny muscles in our fingers. Okay. Similarly, fine motor skills also include the usage of our lip muscles, which we use while we say something, or even the use of muscles which are in our tongue. They are also very fine muscles which we use to, to communicate something. So when these things are, when our fine motor skills are developed, for example, the lip movements or the tongue movements are very well developed, what happens is that the person is able to communicate in an effective manner, because the diction, the pronunciation are all dependent on the movements of our lips and tongue. Similarly, when a person or a child is able to hold certain things in a particular manner, for example, a rubber band maybe, or a grip on a tiny thing, for example, let us say a grip on a hair, okay, that is going to definitely help the child eventually to hold on to a pencil or a pen or a chalk or a crayon, which would help the children develop his or her own writing skills. Apart from that, psychomotor abilities are important. Psychomotor abilities include our ability to walk, ability to run, ability to balance our body. So let us say if somebody just threw something at me, let us say somebody just threw a ball at me, and I will just catch hold of it. or I am talking on a phone and suddenly the phone slips out of my hand, I would not let my phone fall down. Rather, before it falls down, I will catch it. And this is included in our psychomotor abilities. So we catch things because there are our eye-hand coordination is good. It is excellent. Therefore, we catch things. Again, I would like to give a small example of Virendra Sehwag. His batting skills were excellent because his eye-hand coordination was something which was greater than everybody else's. Next is development of all 5 sensory organs. So all of us are aware that we process everything on the basis of our vision as well as on the basis of what we listen, along with, yes, fragrances, tastes, and touch also matters a lot. So when we are listening to things, the children learn to talk in a particular manner. The children learn different dialects of the same language as they listen to the language from different people. Children also learn to identify objects such as what is an apple, what is the difference between an orange and apple. Children also learn to describe how an apple looks or how an apple feels on, like apple skin feels, or how a orange skin feels different than the skin of an apple. So all these are very important part of physical development. And we at St. Hanram Jaipuria School take a lot of care of physical development of the children. So Sonali ma'am will be talking about that.
Very rightly said. This is the base making time. Children are like clay in our hands. Like a sculpture, we can chisel and carve their personalities with our behavior. For an overall development, the school is associated with Khelo India program. Look at these happy children. Many have won national and international tournaments and brought laurels to the school and their parents. We have many sports like basketball, karate, skating, taekwondo, hockey, badminton in school under the guidance of specialized professional coaches who groom students to participate in competitions at all levels. Recall your school days when all activities apart from academics were termed as extracurricular activities. Now we call them co-curricular since they are an integral part of the curriculum. It has been proven that when we talk about all-round development, activities like sports, art and craft help in increasing concentration, patience, focus. They develop team spirit. They help in social emotional development and make children more confident. These skills in turn increase their academic performance too. Here, take a look at how physical development is encouraged in school through a self-defense session.
Yay.
Here, the children are learning self-defense, a part of physical development. The government too lays a lot of emphasis on conducting self-defense sessions in schools, especially amongst girls. We focus a lot on this. Parents, in case you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the Q&A section. Our panelists would love to answer them shortly. There is a quote by Debord Mayer, "Good schools, like good societies and good families, celebrate and cherish diversity." Apart from physical development, there are so many programs running in school for an overall grooming, both academically and for co-curricular. Education is no longer the type we had in our school days. Concept remains the same, but ways have changed, giving more hands-on experience, keeping a balance between curricular and co-curricular activities, nurturing children to be happy and confident by providing child-centric learning, promoting creativity, environmental sensitivity, and academic excellence, to name a few. This is because we want to inculcate a spirit of lifelong learning in our children so that they become effective change agents. In simpler words, as I mentioned earlier, aiming at the overall development of the child. We at St. Anandram Jaipuria School focus in giving a memorable teaching learning experience to our students, which they cherish for a lifetime. There has been an evolution in the education field, with the rote learning pattern taking a backseat and activity-based learning, along with integration of subjects and multidisciplinary approach taking the forefront and even raising the success level. We follow experiential learning, which gives students a platform to explore and get hands-on experience, which in turn makes complex concepts more clear and interesting. Recall your school days. There were some subjects which we liked, but some we totally disliked. Why are they even there in the syllabus? What benefit will we get by studying them? Most common phrases each one of us must have used in school, isn't it? The simple reason is that we are not taught like the way we teach here today. The reason for liking or not liking a subject lies in its understanding. If we understand a subject, interest in it is developed, and hence we start liking it. Here comes the role of methodology, used to impart the knowledge. We use interactive learning methods and encourage learning by doing the activities to develop their interest in learning. The success of this approach has been proved by the exemplary results of our children in the board exams, as well as in other co-curricular activities. We have been the only school in the area to give all India CBSE rank holders, both in class 10 and 12, consecutively for 3 years. Creative instincts of children are stimulated with design thinking, and they create new gadgets, project-based learning, lab on wheels, STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education, inculcates interest for learning the concepts on their own. Art integrated curriculum and multiple disciplinary approach is practiced in school, and it includes music, dance, sports, drawing and painting, culture, to name a few.
Sonali ma'am, I see a question over here, which says that how are we practicing design thinking for young children as pre-primary level? Okay, I think Kavila ma'am will be a good person to answer the question. Kavila ma'am, please.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the question, Vardha. So, design thinking is a very nice initiative added by the school from class nursery onwards. Though it is quite vast, but is beautifully integrated with the curriculum. Design thinking actually introduces processes like such as questioning, ideation, and prototyping. And in the first stage, they develop empathy, understanding, defining the problem, learning to generate ideas, and followed by prototype, and finally evaluation. Indu ma'am, kindly unmute yourself.
So rightly said, Kabila, we started design thinking from class nursery and were really amazed to see the results. For example, we had a theme of animals. We showed short movies telling them about that we do not see too many birds like sparrows nowadays. So children realize that because the trees are being cut and they have no place to build their nest and they do not get enough food to eat, children thought of creating nests and bird feeders for the birds. They, along with their parents and teachers, created beautiful bird feeders from waste material, and we hung them on the trees in our school. This way, they learned many things like habitat of the bird, what they eat to survive, develop empathy towards them, think of ideas to solve these problems.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before we continue the session, it is a privilege to have with us Manju Rana, Director Schools, Jaipuria Group of Educational Society. National awardee Mrs. Manju Rana is a seasoned and accomplished educator, dynamic communicator, effective administrator, and a self-motivated individual with a career spanning over 30 years. A natural leader, Mrs. Rana's vision is to impart holistic, globally benchmarked experiential learning supplemented with sports and art-integrated curricular education. She has invested her opulent teaching and administrative experience to promote the CBSE-affiliated Jaipuria Group of Educational Institutions. Welcome, ma'am. It is a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Sonali. And I'm so happy that we are having this webinar, which talks about reimagining school education, because due to pandemic, we never thought that we will be able to take our classes without the physical infrastructure of the school. And now this pandemic had made it like a reality. And I'm so happy that how quickly the teachers of Jaipuria schools have shifted from the physical mode to an online mode, and ensured that even during these times, when extending the teaching learning was becoming so difficult, we were able to reach out to each and every child in the school. But having said that, I think it is extremely important now that school education is important, because this is a place where children come and do a social interaction. So I feel that, shifting to an remote learning was the need of the hour. But I'm very, very positive that since now we are probably not expecting the second wave, as we were so scared that might come back after Diwali. So I think slowly and gradually now schools are reopening. But having said that, the way things are moving, this technology will play a huge role now, as part of delivering our content. And I think pandemic has taught us that our growth depends on our capability to face challenge. We were all initially so scared, what will happen, how we are going to do. And I think the parents, the children, the teachers, we all came together and we faced this challenge, and we were, very, very successfully overcome it. The pandemic also did give us a lot of chance to try out new things. We felt that it is important for the children, because they were socially being deprived of interacting with the children in the school, their peers, as well as the children, they were actually being, I would say, I don't want to use this word, but it was more like an house arrest for the children. They were there within the house, but they were not. And house arrest for the children, jinke paas itni energy hai, itna kuch karna chahte hain. So those 20 months that we have lost, of course, we can't give it back. But we made sure that in school, whatever it's been planned, for them, we tried very hard to deliver, And I just want to, through this platform, I want to assure parents that all the entire staff of the school is fully vaccinated now. All our people who are coming to the school are fully vaccinated. But having said that, yes, of course, we still have to take all the precautions of the COVID protocol that we are doing in the school. And I think cleanliness and hygiene, had been a top priority of our school at Jaipuria. But now I think this is one of a very, very important standard operating part of our standard operating procedures, to ensure that children are sanitized all the time, while they are in the school or in the transit, using the school transport, or probably using any facilities of the school. So maintaining distance, the classes should not be overcrowded. So we have actually limited also normally we used to have in junior classes about 37, 38 children. Now we try to limit it to 32 or maybe 30, because we feel it is extremely important that we are able to do that. Even an exit point and the entry and the exit point of the school has to be taken care of. So yes, this will be like, I could see on the screen a lot of work that is happening in the school, whether it is design thinking, word sounds difficult, but the children have taken it very, very beautifully. The whole program has been, because it allows children to think extremely critically, and they come with a lot of solutions. And I think that's the mindset that we want to change the children. And the NEP also talks about how important these things are for the foundational years, for the children from pre-nursery till class 2. That's what CBSE, that's what NEP talks about. Project, because there you are engaging so many of your senses when you're doing a project. It talks about collaboration, it talks about communication, it talks about problem solving, and the teacher plays a role of just as a mentor over there. The thoughts and the ideas actually come from the children. Lab on Wheels is another extremely exciting program that we have in the school. हम लोग जब छोटे होते थे तो कोई तमाशा दिखाने के लिए आता था, so we used to all run out of the houses and go. So it's like that. It's like a magic, when we talk about Lab on Wheels, where the children, are so glued to what is happening over there. It's like looks like a big pitara of, a pandoma of boxes. So that's what it is. STEM education, of course, talks about the various component which is required, and Khan Academy is one of our initiatives in which we are helping children to have mastery in maths, and it's based on conceptual understanding. Numeracy literacy skills is, of course, not a problem in our schools because ours are progressive schools, but yes, also to see what is the reading speed of the school, how the child is able to write, what its expressions are, how creative the child could be. So हमारा तो level सिर्फ basic नहीं है numeracy. So here we are taking children to an extremely higher level, multiple disciplinary approach, that how one team can integrate, we can integrate it the various subject. Art integrated is not about just creating craft and artwork, how it can be a component of the curriculum, how it can be a component of the subject. Health and wellness curriculum is one initiative which was being launched by the Secretary CBSE, and we're really, really excited. We have actually implemented some of the templates over here. So music, dance, dear, all these programs. And I would really, really like to, compliment all the team at Jaipuria, under the mentorship of the headmistress, and the coordinator, that we were able to actually take these programs to such a higher level. So yes, and maybe later on, if I have a CBSE webinar lined up, in case I'm there, I'll be more than happy to answer some of the queries of the parents. So thank you so much. I was very quick. I would try to give a very quick overview of what is on the screen. And I'm sure we have experts, Sonali and Vardha, Mrs. Kohli is there, and Kabila Rawat is there. So do probably take up a lot of your queries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You explained the program so well. And I think most of the queries of the parents, must have been resolved related to the opening of the new session, because I receive a lot of queries from parents that what kind of, process, what will the process be followed in the next session, which will commence in April. So a lot of queries must have been solved, right? So I think there is because we have dear time on the screen, there is a question here, Vardha ma'am, related to reading, I suppose.
Yes, absolutely right. Right. So I see somebody is asking that how are we integrating reading into the world which is digitally full of so many screens. So I guess Indu ma'am will be able to answer that question. Please, Indu ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Like for dear time, I would say teachers ignite a passion in child to read by incorporating a lot of activities focused to improve their comprehension and engagement. So we at Jaipuria focus on some very simple and effective ways. See, we start from reading from class nursery. We teach them phonics. Through phonic sounds, they start making small words to make reading interesting and easy. Then they reach 3-letter words. gradually moved to short sentences through guided reading sessions. We conduct Dear Time, that is drop everything and read, where the students and the teachers read together for a short duration of time, so that they look up to the teachers, as a model. Then we focus on books with repeated phrases. We have for reluctant readers, they are encouraged to play different character roles from some fictional tale to develop their interest. Listen to audiobooks. Libraries are treasure trove for young children in our school. We have graded our books as per age. So we have different levels of book. Children go to the first level of book, then they gradually move to the second level of books. So we have created reading corridors, class libraries. So when they finish their work, they sit down and read, We give books to students as rewards. We invite a lot of authors in our schools to read, and we conduct a lot of activities during library reading programs. One way to further develop their interest in reading is to combine it with technology. So we have online libraries, interactive ebooks, voiceovers, even augmented realities, which help in developing their interest for reading. So we have a lot of activities for physical school also and for virtual classes also.
Very true,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much.
We are taking a lot of initiative in inculcating good habits. Like reading not only enhances imagination, but also inculcates patience. We have seen a shift from it due to the increased attraction towards technology. So we need to inculcate good habits, as I said, right from the beginning. Similarly, we all know that health is the foremost thing to be taken care of. The COVID pandemic has made all of us realize the importance of taking care of our health and living a safe life. As Manju ma'am just mentioned, Jaipuria schools are the first to introduce a health and safety curriculum, which was launched on 17th of September this year. Mr. Anurag Tripathi, Secretary of CBSE, was the chief guest, and Mr. Mufazzal was the guest of honor for the event. It has received a lot of applause from CBSE as well as all stakeholders. It is weaved in the curriculum. It focuses on community and environmental health and helps in a balanced emotional and mental growth.
Sonali, I just thought we can also over here talk about the first of its kinds, the radio station that we have opened in the school. And we are really very excited that Jaipuria is the first school which has, opened a radio station in the school. And we are having a formal inauguration of it on Monday, which is 15th, where we are calling RJ Vidit, and he's from the radio Mirchi 98.3 FM. So he will be there. One of our old alumni, Arya Chitransh, will be there. He's pursuing his acting, and you will soon see him in some of the serials and the films. And he's also coming as an alumni connect. And we also have Varsha, who is coming, who is also the station head at Salam Namaste. So I think it's a lot of investment has gone into it. We plan to start having a podcast in the school, probably take it to the next level of creating, internet radio where the children can, read a news from there, and all the parents can hear what is happening in the school. So I think that will become a lot of transparency also. Within what we are doing. And finally, we plan to make it as a community radio through which we can connect with the, people not only of, Vasundhara, but Ghaziabad and Noida, wherever, what kind of a frequency that we get, and, where we can reach out to, so that, the children then become the ambassador of the program and share their experience. So I think And it is just not about working on the communications of the children. It will also bring about their reluctance in speaking in front of the camera, the voice modulation. And so I think I'm really excited because I'm sure it will going to give a unique experience to, and one of its kind. Earlier we were taking children out to a radio station for any kind of a recording. Now we have an in-house facility. So I'm sure the small programs that the children will be doing, their recording in their own voices will be done at the station. So whenever you are in the school next time, all of you are requested to peep into the radio station, and it's very close. It's one of the first classrooms that we have converted. So once you are in the reception, you cannot miss, peeping into and the Radio Spark is there, our mascot, which talks about giving voice to Jaipuria children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is a great news that ma'am has shared with each one of you. So we will be having this launch on Monday. So ma'am has given this good news to all. And this is a you can see this is a very, very good initiative. And the exposure that children get here at Jaipuria is like commendable, and we are so happy, and as ma'am said, and proud to introduce this under the mentorship of ma'am, and special thanks to the management for introducing such a good facility in school like no other school has. So congratulations to all.
Very rightly said, Sonali ma'am, very rightly said. So we spoke about health, we also spoke about the communication skills, the radio station, and some great cheer has been already spread out here. So let us go on to talking about mental and emotional health. And in mental health, one of the most important concern that all of us generally have is about the development of brain. So I would like to ask, this question, and I would request Vijay sir to launch the poll. Vijay sir, please launch the poll for brain development. Yes, dear participants, you have got some time, like 30-40 seconds to answer this question. Kindly answer. The question is, what is the ideal age of brain development? We are waiting for your responses.
Quickly.
Yes, please. Okay. All right. Few seconds more. And Vijay sir, can we see the results now? All right, I guess it's being processed. Okay, 63% of the parents are saying that 3 years is the ideal age of brain development. So let us take a step forward and peep into this one. So ideally, children develop their understanding of numbers, their understanding of their own emotional control, or understanding of symbols by the age of 4.5 till the age of 6. So by that time, the brain develops, the gray matter develops. As the child grows up, grows further, the neural connections start getting established. So the child learns different languages, the child learns different mathematical calculations, all of these things after the child has been adequately challenged to use the brain in a particular manner. So that is how the brain development of all the children happens. And we at our school and in general are supposed to take care of this brain development and utilize it till the fullest of our possibility. I would also like to talk about one more thing that, we all must have come across some people who are quite adamant and unwilling to learn. They also end up causing a menace for themselves and for others. Because they do not want to adopt or learn certain new ways of dealing with things, they avoid working with people who challenge them. But these kind of people generally are avoided by most of the people as well. And like I mentioned earlier, that 65% of our children will be working on the jobs which are yet to be established. So inculcating learner's attitude is very, very, very crucial. And that is going to happen with the help of brain development. And for that, we need to take certain precautions from our end. For example, we need to look into certain invisible needs of the children. So the first is need to be appreciated. So children love when they get a smile from all of us, or when they have eye contact as we are talking to them or as they are talking to us. So we can do these things. We can definitely avoid leaving children with screens as it restricts their imagination. Next is the children also need to have structured as well as unstructured time. Let them get bored at times so that they develop their imagination and they learn ways to keep themselves engaged as they learn new things even while doing the same. So these are certain techniques which can be used.
When we talk about addressing the needs of children of this tender age, we are responsible for providing a safe and supporting environment for them. As Ken Robinson rightly said, all children start their school careers with sparkling imaginations, fertile minds, and a willingness to take risks with what they think. Keeping these milestones in mind, we have provided a robust and flexible infrastructure to give the best facilities to our young learners, as we've already discussed some of the facilities and the upcoming facilities too. As an old saying goes, too much of work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Our infrastructure gives equal importance to play, creativity, talents, and supports interesting learning methods. And I would like to show how enjoyable is the teaching learning process through this video. Ma'am, please play the video. The driver is listening to the phone while driving.
So these are some ways that we teach them about empathy for others. Socio-emotional learning starts, this is how through roleplay they learn to do different roles. If they should give their seats to somebody who's in need, carrying luggage.
So we saw children, we saw that children are learning etiquettes through a role play. So in addition to this, we have in school areas like Splash School and Sensory Garden that excite children and also help them in their learning and physical development in a fun-filled and stress-free way. To enhance talents, we have Visual and Performing Arts Studio Books are our best friend. As discussed earlier about reading, to inculcate reading habit in students, we have reading corridors, class libraries, e-libraries, along with school libraries, as Indu ma'am has already briefed. All children are unique. Their learning patterns are different from the others. A multiple intelligence room gives each one of them an opportunity to explore concepts as per their interest. Indu ma'am, I'm sure parents would like to know how do you create and what do children do at these learning centers?
Okay, so learning centers are basically for students, are student centered, and give children hands-on experience for them to explore and investigate. Small group learning centers offer powerful learning opportunities for students, both academically and socially. Like you just saw a video of this bus ride. We had our theme was transport. So it was based on the theme that we created a center where the children did a role play and they learned many things, as you saw in that small video. And like similarly, we create theme-based learning centers. We have a dramatic play center, which helps in building social skills. Children they are made more aware of the emotions. It encourages shared language and problem solving. Then we have music center there, where the experience, it helps to improve their listening skills, create new music. It might be just by banging, some tables and all. It is not necessary that it has to be very sophisticated or something. A block center, children playing with block are practicing a wide variety of developmental skills, including manipulating skills, manipulating objects, creating structures, working together. STEM comes here, art centers, let children use their imagination and be creative. A book center, having access to books stimulates children's imagination and thinking skills. Science and nature center, where exploring the natural world through hands-on learning is an important way that children learn. Children do experiments by conducting it, doing it, practically doing it. So it helps in developing their observation and manipulating items from environment while making predictions and what will happen, and then testing those predictions. So you see, different learning centers cater to different developmental skills, I would say.
I hope this gives a clearer understanding about the learning centers. Yes, further to give hands-on experience and to develop scientific skills, we have different scientific labs and centers and graphic design labs. This helps students to remember the studies in a better way by conducting their own experiments. It gives students first-hand experience and offers better opportunities for learning. Maths Lab and Atal Incubation Center for critical thinking and problem solving skills. When they are observing various things and carrying out many different experiments, their reasoning skills are honed. And they start to think deeply on those concepts and theories. Wordsworth Language Lab for linguistic development, which makes students proficient and more confident in languages to be used in their daily lives. These were just a few of the facilities. There are many, many more which you will experience during the schooling tenure of your child.
Moving on, yeah, we have a tiny case study. I would like you all to let us understand the concern of this tiny tot and see how it is going ahead.
Adrian,
Okay.
how are you? How you doing? Give me 5.
School is becoming a struggle for first grader Adrian, who is easily distracted.
He's really active. He doesn't stay still.
You get lots of homework, Adrian?
Yes,
Yeah? How many pages?
15.
He's unable to complete the homework.
Yes, and he doesn't stay still. He just gets distracted easily.
I am sure most of our parents might be having something similar
Adrian, how?
to this one, wherein, it's really difficult to cater to the child's attention and they start doing something, जैसे एक drawing करना शुरू कर दिया और 5 मिनट में छोड़ दिया, and then they want to go and eat something, or then they want to suddenly start playing with their train or their another toy, and then if you ask the child to come back and start doing the drawing again, they'll be like, नहीं अभी नहीं करना, mood नहीं है, ये अभी मुझे ये खाना है. All these things are so normal that keep happening. So over here, I would like to ask another question on the poll. That is, what do you think is attention span of a 3-year-old? So yes, the poll is being launched. Kindly answer. Okay, we will be giving you some time to answer the question. So what do you think is the attention span of a 3-year-old? That is 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes? What is it? I'm sure as people are answering this question, there are a lot of things which are turning up in their mind. All right, 61% of the participants say that the attention span of a 3-year-old child is 2 minutes. So let us test our own attention today. Okay, I would like you to watch this video with with entire focus and attention. This is a fun video, okay, and I'm sure all of us are going to enjoy it. So let us see how how attentive are we.
This is the shell game. I'm going to hide this Hershey's Kiss under
So this chocolate will be hidden under one of the cups.
For you to pay attention and follow along and try to guess which cup the Hershey's Kiss is under at the end.
Oh my God.
Try to guess if it's in the left cup.
Okay, how many of you think that it is in the right cup? Please type it in the Q&A. Right cup, left cup, or middle? Just let me know which one you think has the chocolate under it. Right, left, or middle? Okay, I am getting some responses. Middle one. If you're saying right, if you're saying left, if you're saying middle, okay, let us figure out how it goes.
The middle cup or the right cup?
Let's see.
Let's check the left cup. The middle cup? If you guess the middle cup.
So all those who said middle cup, very good job.
So now we're going to make it a little more complicated. I've added an extra pair of hands and I've added additional colors here. But that's only to distract you from the pink cups. The pink cups will always have, one of the pink cups will always have the Hershey Kiss underneath. So let's get started.
Okay, let us see. Okay, let us see.
So can you guess where the
Which
Hershey
one
Kiss is?
has the Hershey Kiss under it or the chocolate under it? Of course, we are only looking for answers in the pink cups. So, okay, left cup, left pink cup, right pink cup, or the middle pink cup? Once again. Okay, all right. I'm getting answers. Okay, amazing. Great. Middle, left, definitely left. Left pink cup. Okay, there's somebody saying right pink cup as well. Okay, let us see how it goes. Okay. Okay. Amazing. Yes. So left cup was the correct answer. But yes, how many of you did see the duck? And okay. Did you also see the fifth hand?
Oh.
There was a fifth hand. And the blue cups were also replaced by the green ones. These were the blue cups. And eventually they were replaced by green ones.
Oh, Vardha ma'am, I really could not identify the color of the cups were changed.
Try it again.
Yes, so it is not only us, but then yes, a lot of people haven't been able to do that because we are all concentrated on the cup under which there's a chocolate. So this is how we are playing with our own attention. Oh, I moved on to the next slide quite quickly. Before we move on to the next slide, I would like you to ask one more question. You guys are going to be like, kitne sawal puchti hai ye madam? But then, yeah, that is how it is. So I would like to ask all of you that, okay, since we have begun our webinar, how many of you have checked your phones? How many? At least 3 times or more. So if you have checked it more than 3 times, you will write Y. If you have checked it, you have not checked it at all, you would write N in the question answer box. Come on, let us do it quickly. 3 times or more. If we have, okay, a lot of people have said no, 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 excellent, amazing. Okay, yes, I'm getting a lot of no responses and a lot of yes responses as well. Okay, all right, great. So glad to see that a lot of people have not checked their phone, and I can see a few people have checked their phone as well. So yes, the attention span is generally ranges between 2 to 5 minutes per age. So let us say if we are thinking about attention span of a 3-year-old child, it is going to range from 6 to 15 minutes. And that is why they get bored so easily and they want to switch tasks very frequently. And that is absolutely normal, and that is very easy way of growing up. So you must have noticed that children tend to take breaks while they are performing a task. For example, again, a book is being colored, a picture is being colored, and the child will leave that in between and will start playing with something else, or will start looking out the window, or will start talking to one of the grandparent or the parent. So this is how children tend to take break, and that is a very healthy way of bringing our attention back to the work we were doing. Next is limiting media and demonstrating. So all those who did not access the phone is amazing thing, because we need to demonstrate what we want our children to learn and understand. Therefore, limiting the media is again very important, because it tends to it tends to affect our attention in a certain manner, because each slide or each screen is being hit on our eyes with at least 24 seconds per second, 24 slides per second speed. So limiting media is also going to help in sustaining the attention. Next is the psychological and social aspect of development. So psychological and social aspect of development covers a lot of empathy and resilience, which is so important to be developed in our children, as I have discussed earlier. Sonali ma'am, will you be discussing the self-awareness and self-management? Yeah.
Right. Yes, social emotional learning helps to develop responsible decision-making and relationship skills. This boosts confidence and positivity in children, helps them develop problem-solving skills. It also strengthens emotional resilience and reduces behavioral problems and adolescent depression. It inculcates social empathy and well-being. We are actively involved in CSR activities and are associated with a few NGOs and clubs like HelpAge India, etc. We all want our children to lead a balanced and happy life. And this can be achieved through self-awareness, empathy for self, family, peer, people, society, and nature. Here is a glimpse of children understanding and spreading a social cause. Through this video, you can see.
Please stop cutting trees. Plant and trees on your birthday. Don't complain about the heat. Plant a tree, please. Seeds, sprout will be there, flower will be there, tree will be there. So, please plant the tree and make Earth happy.
Here you can see children becoming responsible and empathetic towards the surroundings. Our little brand ambassadors creating awareness. It inculcates social empathy and well-being.
The role of teacher plays a very, very, very crucial part in all this growth and development. As teachers, not only encourage emotional reflection, but also nurture problem solving, leading to self-confidence. Along with the teacher, role of parent plays a very, very, very vital role in growth and development and holistic education of the children. So without the support and collaboration of parents with the school, it is not possible for us to reach out to the students and develop and spread the holistic education that we are willing to spread. So constant monitoring by your side, continuous involvement, motivating the students, modeling positive behavior are all certain things that help us move further.
Parents, you are an important stakeholders and your feedback is very important to us. We always strive to create a strong bond with each one. We have parent engagements through PTFs, orientations, etc. We have parents as active members in various school committees. Parents, we need your support. We would love to have you in school to motivate children and let them know about your life journey and expertise. Parents are even invited as judges in various school competitions. We have counselors catering to careers, special needs, and for counseling support. So parents and students can get in touch accordingly. Here is a glimpse of enthusiastic partnership between parent, student, and school.
Believe in yourself, there's power in you. Have faith in your dreams and they will come true. There's much you can give if you do your part. The choices you make should come from your heart. So believe in yourself, 'cause there's nothing you cannot do. If you believe in yourself, dreams can come true. The future depends on what you will do.
beautiful, isn't it? So together we can and we will.
So, Sonali, there are some questions that I'm just reading from the Q&A. Like Geeta ma'am wants to know, are you following Montessori pattern for children? Well, Geeta ma'am, what I would like to tell you is Montessori pattern of education is like just believes in that you should have age appropriate activities, and children should believe in experiential learning, and which we also believe in. So we don't take their this thing to have. We have our own teaching aids. We make our own teaching aids, but yes, they are very age appropriate, and it gives a hands-on to the students, and learning becomes easy. So, and we have small group and big group programs, so the child, and individual also. So child can do everything individually in small groups, and all these things, which help in developing their communication, social skills, and all. Then Sanjay sir, he's asking that how will we make a balance between further education, as previous 20 months we have lost. Sanjay sir, together we are going to do it. It is a challenge for both of us. And I assure you that school will be always there for you. And of course, we need your support. And together we will do this, and we'll overcome these gaps also. But believe one thing, that online is going to stay. It is not going to end. So we'll have a blend of both, and together we will compensate these years. They're too young, and we can easily mold them as per our needs. And Arpana ma'am wants to know how to promote SEL. Arpana ma'am, we have a very structured curriculum of socio-emotional learning with age-appropriate activities. We develop these skills, by showing them some videos and sensitizing them towards different things, and have activities which are done by the child with the help of the parents. Of course, we need your cooperation there also, but we have a very structured SEL curriculum, and you will be amazed to see the result after few months, I would say, because sabka instant result repercussion nahi aata, and we look forward to your feedback there also. Once we implement the SEL program, time to time we will be taking parents' feedback, and whatever is needed, we incorporate those things. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your questions. In this journey of providing quality education, we have won great accolades and recognition. The school has been ranked as #1 in Ghaziabad by the Times School Survey 2021 for our unwavering commitment towards world-class education. The education today has ranked Seth Anandram Jaipuria School Vasundhara as #1 in Ghaziabad, ranked 3rd in UP, and 14th in India. We have been awarded the best school for futuristic education in Uttar Pradesh. These are just a few of the many recognitions and awards the school has achieved. The most splendid moment was when our principal cum director, Manju ma'am, was conferred with the prestigious National Award to Teachers by the President of India in 2019. We are proud to have had all India rank holders in class 12 for these 3 consecutive years. So in addition to academic excellence, our students and staff have gained recognition in all areas. So I can see some more questions.
Yes,
So there's a lot of questions, but
which is about children will go directly in nursery skipping play. So a parent is worrying that will they how will they do good in it, because they have skipped play where they learn to sit in the school and learn. So what is our plan for the same? Indu ma'am, you need to unmute yourself.
So previously also, I would say that we had a mixture of both. Every parent doesn't send the child to a play school. So I mean, we are experts in that dealings. So you don't have to worry, We will handle it. Our teachers are trained to do that. So even if the child has not attended any play school, आप अगर सोचो तो play school का concept sir अभी ज़्यादा introduce हुआ है, I would say. Initially तो play school में हम बच्चे भेजते ही नहीं थे इतने. Children used to be coming directly to class nursery. ये प्ले ग्रुप, प्ले स्कूल, ये सब अभी हुआ है introduced, but that's fine, that's perfectly all right. But they get used to very fast, and of course, the only expertise that we need is our teachers, and I'm sure they will really help you there. So you don't have to worry about that. We'll deal with those. We'll settle them very quickly.
Basically, ma'am, children have a lot of potential and they have a very good grasping
They're
power.
very flexible, yes.
So it's all about, like we have already discussed, it's all about a proper grooming and development, stage by stage development. So they will pick up very soon. So don't worry about it.
Absolutely right. So that
So
was
looking forward to everybody joining the school physically, and we will be there to welcome you with open arms.
Right. So I think most of the questions have been answered. Vardha ma'am, any other questions?
Yes. No. Okay. There is one. A question has just popped up. Do we need to be in the school for first few days?
We have stopped planning, sir. We are just waiting. Kya hoga? Hame kal ka hi nahi pata. But yes, otherwise we normally call parents for few days because gradually we increase the time of the school also, because nurseries, they're very young. So they need to build a rapport with the teacher. So we do call parents, for an hour and gradually increase the time and so on. So, but I mean, we don't know what is happening and what's going to be the scenario that time. So let's wait and watch.
Seriously. It totally depends on the situation at that time when we reopen the session.
All right, moving on.
All questions answered.
Yes,
so no
please.
problem at all. You can, in case you have any other questions afterwards also, you can surely contact us and we are just a phone call away. So before concluding, I would like to thank the management for their support and our director schools, Manju ma'am, for her constant motivation and guidance. Thank you, Indu ma'am, Kabala ma'am, and Suprabha ma'am for your support and guidance. Thank you, Vardha ma'am, for sharing such important information about child development with all of us. I would like to thank all the parents for their participation and extend my gratitude for the backend team, along with Vijay sir, for all their support and organizing the session. So
thank you, Sonali. Thank you very much, Sonali.
Most welcome, ma'am. Would like to conclude by quoting Marriott Mead. Children must be taught how to think and not what to think. So keeping all this in mind, we'll conclude the session. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye, stay safe and healthy.